COVID-19 has changed our lives forever. What it's allowed me to do is reflect on some of the photography I used to really love to do as a young man, and that was to go down and visit lakes, rivers and creeks very close to my house. I used to spend hours and hours and hours, and it allowed me to hone my skills as a nature photographer. So I've got a long telephoto lens, 100 to 400 millimeter. I've got a great camera, aperture priority. I set the aperture, camera sets shutter speed for me automatically. I've upped the ISO a little bit to 800 ISO. It kicks up that shutter speed for me. And of course my aperture is wide open, allowing in as much light as possible. This combination, along with continuous focusing, allows me to track birds and get into the action and get the best results possible. Look at this cool subject just behind me. Australian black swan. I've always wanted to get a black swan sitting on its nest, eggs hopefully, and even better the cygnets. Never got that shot. This is my big chance. The very reason you might want to come to a local lake or river is because the birds are actually desensitized to people. They're used to people. So it's a fantastic opportunity for you to be able to get closer than you normally could. Your 100 to 400 mil will help a lot too, but the animals themselves are used to people. Highly recommend it. It'll get you the shot you're after. Something I love to do in these situations is to give a bit of working distance. Again, the longer telephoto lens will offer that. I also keep my voice down and my movements to a minimum. This helps the bird. She's sitting on a nest. She's used to people, but she still can get upset, and I don't want to upset her. So as much as possible, I limit my movement. And the other thing I'm going to try and do is get different photographs. So I'm going to use my zoom lens to my advantage. I've got a 100 mil to a 400 mil. So in this case, on this camera, it's actually a 200 to 800 mil because of the sensor size. So that can be pretty handy. 800 mil, I can actually crop in and just get a tight headshot if I want to. So I've got myself into a very comfortable position here, and that is one knee on the ground and one knee up. And I'm resting my elbow actually on my knee. And the reason for that is it acting like a tripod. So again, with the settings I've got, I can take a couple of standard photographs, and then I'm going to wait for that special photograph. So I'm going to be patient. And there you go, the head just moved a little bit nicer position there. I've got my focus locked on her head, and I'm getting the reflection of her in the water. It's a beautiful photograph. So I mentioned birds a lot, but there's a lot of other things to photograph here as well. We've got frogs, we've got plants, lots of beautiful plants. Again, the 100 to 400 mil lens will actually act quite well as a macro lens. So I've spotted something here to photograph. I'm going to go full telephoto, aperture priority, f8, 5.6. Again, I want to get that shutter speed up, and I've actually gone to 1600 ISO this time because the light's starting to drop. I'm going to aim up, simple as that. Again, Adobe Lightroom Classic is going to enable me to process this image very quickly and very simply. Here we go. I've got my presets on the left-hand side. I'm going to use Vibrance Punchy this time. So I click on there, and it's processed the image for me in base form. And if I have a look again, contrast has been changed, shadows, and I've put in a bit more vibrance this time. I've punched up the colors, and it's auto sharpened for me. This is all done with one click of the button. I then click on the crop tool, and I'm going to come down and crop in tighter onto the swans, get into the action. Now I've got a lot of pixel information in this file. Even if you've got a 20 megapixel file to start with, I can crop 50%. I've still got 10 megapixels. That's a load of information. Double click, have a look. That's starting to look really nice. I might just add a little bit more shadows. Look what happens when I change the shadows. And again, if you're trying the different sliders, try to extreme so that you can see the effects. It's a very visual program. I'm going to go quite a bit up to say 70 with shadows. And if we go and have a look at detail, look at that. The detail's just beautiful in there. Oh, more babies. And I'm going to say I'm very happy with that. And then hit 5. And I know then it's one of my best images. It's 5-star rated, and I can send it off to be published or used on this TV show.